Welcome to E3. Today, we're dedicating our entire briefing to games. The lineup is diverse, huge franchises, new IP, independent games, and my old favorites.
So we're catching up with Microsoft's Jim McMullin here at the very loud Microsoft booth, Xbox booth, but you gotta be loud at E3, right? If there's one time of the year when you need to be loud.
That's what it's exactly about. I think it's about loud, but it's also about the games that we showcased yesterday. We're really amazingly excited about the exclusive lineup that we have for this holiday. It's all about the games that are this holiday. I think that we've got a great suite of products in terms of games that gamers will really love, in terms of new IP, which is always exciting, things like Sunset Overdrive. That's really exciting for all the multiplayer aspects, as well as the new look and feel. It's great to have Insomniac on board, all the way down to like Ori and the Blind Forest, where we're doing really beautiful, cool stuff. I think also getting Master Chief, the sort of collection back, is really exciting. I'm really excited personally because I get to play Halo 2. I played every other one, and now it's good to go back to that.
Is that one of those things coming into E3 this year? There have been so many delays, so many great games that were pushed back from 2014 to 2015. Your press conference really set the tone. You wanted to showcase 2014 still has quite a lot of great games coming out. It's still a lot to look forward to right now.
Sure, no, absolutely. Our focus really is on the exclusives that people can play this holiday. And you know, the stuff that we talked about in terms of Sunset and Master Chief Collection. The Master Chief Collection is interesting in a lot of ways because of the value, the exclusive, and I'm really particularly interested in the stuff with Ridley Scott, the sort of Nightfall miniseries. That'll be really good. And then we've got Forza Horizon as well. So we feel great about the games we're bringing in the next, the end of this year, before the end of this year. I think we've also got some great stuff coming in the future, but our focus is on this holiday and the exclusives that we're bringing.
I noticed that with the Halo Master Chief Collection, it's sort of like a dual attack thing. First of all, you want to get all dual wielding, yeah. You want to get all the old fans excited again for Halo 5 Guardians. You want to get them sort of on board on Xbox One. But it's also sort of an invitation to players who may not have picked up on the Master Chief story, who feel left behind, 10 years behind on the storyline, kind of hard to pick up.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I think it's a great way of showcasing the full Master Chief story. I think not only is it a great way of getting new people into the franchise, but in terms of the multiplayer, you can play any of the maps. You don't have to go and complete any of the games. You can play any of the levels that you want, sort of a la carte, which is a great way of experience the Master Chief story. And then, of course, the really exciting thing about the Master Chief edition is going to be in December when we introduce the Halo 5 multiplayer beta, which will run for several weeks. So we know a lot of people are really anticipating that. I'm personally looking forward to it, and I think it'll be a great way of showcasing the whole Master Chief collection.
So leading into E3, you really made a lot of announcements that sort of that otherwise would have taken space at the press conference, things about the service, things about Xbox Originals. You sort of got that out of the way. I'm still kind of excited about things like Xbox Originals. You sort of talked about the Ridley Scott Halo Nightfall at the press conference, but it certainly seems like that is also a big part of your Xbox strategy, even though maybe E3 isn't the place to talk about it.
Sure, no, I think that's exactly what it is. I think that all the Xbox Originals we have, like Every Street United, is going to be super exciting for the World Cup. That will continue to be a focus. We'll be doing more and more of those. I think that we really wanted to focus on games. We wanted to focus on this holiday. We wanted to focus on exclusives. I think the other thing to mention is that in terms of live, we really only talked about it in the context of the games, which is great, dedicated servers, 1080p, all that other kind of good stuff, but live is being updated monthly as well, bringing new functionality, things like external hard drive storage, real friends names. All those kinds of things are going to be vital. We didn't talk about it yesterday, but you can see it on the floor today, and people will be seeing it every month from now until, well, every month.
And not to forget about Games with Gold on Xbox One.
I think Games with Gold is exciting. I think Games with Gold is actually married to Deals with Gold, where we're looking at showcasing not only those monthly updates to bring new features and new functionality, make gameplay better, but give deals to the real fans in terms of games, in terms of deals on DLC, in terms of deals on Gandhi. So we're really excited about those kinds of twin programs in the context of updating everything every month.
Because I really got the feeling like how the sort of the space of selling games and deals and sales and all that has sort of it's just snowballed incredibly over the last few years. And maybe you sort of had an approach that you had at the beginning of Xbox 360 and kept with that, but now you're changing things up a little bit. Is that correct interpretation?
Yeah, I think we're looking and always resonant with fan feedback. They've said, give us more deals, give us better in terms of stuff happening on game downloads. So that's something that we've listened to, like we've listened to a lot of other things and made adjustments in terms of the policies, in terms of the way that we're going to market. I think that we're going to continue to do that. The updates in live is one example. Introducing new SKUs is another example. That give us more content for holiday, and we feel that we're starting to promise or deliver on those promises. We're not complacent. I think that we've got a lot left to do, and we're going to be doing that up to the launch in Sweden and then afterwards as well.
So yeah, speaking of that, you're bringing a lot more countries into the fold September 5th. How important is it to get that sort of done? Because it's a lot of folks have been waiting, and I know a lot of people in Sweden and Norway, Denmark, a lot of countries have already gotten their Xbox Ones because they couldn't wait. So bringing the world together on Xbox One, it's got to be sort of, I don't know the exact reasonings by what's delayed, but obviously that's something that's got to feel good from a European perspective.
Sure, yeah. I mean, the feedback from gamers and from the sort of core gaming community in terms of anticipating Xbox One has been huge. We're really excited about, and we really hope it goes well. We've always done relatively well in Sweden and the Nordic countries in terms of the types of games played, in terms of the exclusives that we have in first and third party, and things like FIFA Ultimate Team with Legends. Those are the kinds of things that we think are going to make us really resonate with those gamers. But we're going to continue to update even before the launch so that it's as good as it can be.
So did you sort of have that in mind, that we have to have some great games coming out in September, when you knew that you're going to launch it in a lot of new territories? They have some fresh games like Forza Horizon 2 is coming out, Dance Central is coming out. You seem to sort of stock the portfolio a little bit there in September.
A lot of portfolios are stocked in September.
Yeah, certainly.
That those two things are necessarily linked. I think that we're launching as soon as we can. I think that we want the best experience for launch. I also think that those big titles are going to be really exciting, and the multiplayer for Halo doesn't actually come into effect in December, so people can continue to enjoy that experience for months and months. I think also the ID at Xbox program that we have won't be specific to any month. We're looking to get thousands of people on board that. It's going to be a fantastic program. Swedish developers, creative people will be, I hope, really enthusiastic about embracing it, and we'll see what kind of games come out September or any other month from there.
I did see a couple of interesting games at the ID at Xbox. I got that hashtag IDRB. That's a brilliant game. Chariot, also a game.
Yeah, Cuphead's a good one. I think there are sort of, I have a couple of favorites. Cuphead's kind of a good one. I think that there's a bunch that are probably going to resonate, the Aztec stuff, but I think that for me it's not necessarily about one single title. It's about being able to unlock the creative juices of everybody, the innovators, the developers, and also showcasing those kinds of things back in. We don't necessarily have to just wait for these blockbuster games like Sunset Overdrive, which is fantastic, but we're going to be offering a suite of games all the time.
Because I feel like something that's changed over the years, last generation, the generation before, there are fewer sort of mid-range titles, the sort of smaller AAA titles, and instead it's big AAA or small indie, and this sort of feels a little bit like there's a space there for the indies to fill on your platform.
Absolutely, I think there is. I mean, I think what we're doing in terms of SDK functionality, in terms of support to those kinds of people is a complete step change and in the right direction. We're really excited about those kinds of developments. We think the ID at Xbox program will develop everything from the tiny indies to the mid-range big games, and I think it's going to be great seeing the sort of regional relevance of those. Size is not necessarily the issue, it's the quality of the game. I think that when people look at the stuff we have on offer, even the brief glimpse yesterday, they're going to be really excited.
I mean, it's quite a difference between something like IDRB and something like, say, Hellraid, which is also under the same umbrella.
Yes, that's right. I think that we're going to see tons of different creative styles. I think we're going to see tons of different sizes of games. And I think that what's proved over the last bunch of years is that people who really love games don't necessarily mind about the size of the game. Limbo is not necessarily the biggest game, but it's a fantastic game. Call of Duty is also a fantastic game. It just depends upon what people like to play, and this is all about choice.
Oh, we sort of danced around it now, but Inside, another one that was announced at the press conference. Very excited to see what that is all about.
No, absolutely. Inside, for me, is one of the most exciting ones. I did play Limbo a lot. I think Playdead's a fantastic developer. I think that Phil Spencer was also particularly excited. He had the Limbo shirt on the whole time. So Inside, for me, looks beautiful. It's going to be one of those kinds of things that we want to showcase as part of a wider breadth and depth of games. Ori and the Blind Forest, Inside, all the way up to FIFA Legends, Sunset Overdrive, and Master Chief.
Below is another one that I'm excited about, part of the ID program as well. Speaking of sort of the future and looking ahead, we got some 2015 stuff out there. Crackdown is one game that you're returning to, and Dave Jones is back in the fold. What kind of team is it that's working on that? It's been two different teams working on the first two games.
Yeah, that's right. Phil was pretty specific that he only wanted to release it to the right team and get the right team on board. I think that he feels super confident in the team that he's built. Don't have specifics in terms of who those are today, but if Phil feels excited, I think we're definitely on the right track. It'll be a great game.
Absolutely, and we're sort of even more excited when we're kept in the dark like that.
Yeah. All of us. We're all excited and a bit kept in the dark. No, I think that those are the kinds of things that we have for FY15, the next year. I think that our real focus, though, is best exclusives, best multiplayer, best value this year, this holiday. And I think that the kind of stuff that you can play on the show floor is a real testament to that. The games that you see today really, I think, put us in the right position for a good launch in Sweden. We really hope it goes well, and we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think jetpacks and co-op was sort of a theme that ran through the presentations.
Verticality, I think it's called verticality. That's right. No, look, we've got a lot of different styles of games. I think the verticality that you see in Sunset, the jetpacks that you see in Titanfall, Call of Duty, where we have some exclusive stuff in terms of timings as well, are really great. We'll see what happens for the rest of this year, ID at Xbox and beyond.
Right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Good to see you. Thanks again.